Hey beer tubers, it's Ryan back with another beer review. Finally getting to another seasonal here, and I figure I'd try something that I've never had before and just showed up here in Southern California. And that is from a brewery we just started getting recently earlier this year, and that is from Uinta. They're out in, I believe, Salt Lake City, Utah, and this is their Oak Jacked Imperial Pumpkin Ale. Never had this one before. It's part of their Crooked Line series. You can see from towards the neck of the bottle. I've only had one Uinta beer, and it was their Doobie Imperial Black IPA, which was really nice considering that the bottle was fairly old when I tried it. But we're starting to get all their Crooked Line stuff, which is all coming in these big 750 milliliter bottles. Okay, so I'm already getting some smells off this already. It's aged in just oak barrels. It doesn't say bourbon or any kind of whiskey involved, just oak barrels. And pumpkin ale brewed with spices. So I've had this sitting down about 20 minutes or so. Pours a fairly hazy, kind of a light red. It's got a lot of ruby red tints to it, some very small orange tints, but out of the light it looks just a nice red color. Got about a finger of an off-white head on there. Decent carbonation on there. Let's give it a little swirl. Get the nose on it. You can see some alcohol legs too. Oh wow, that is intense. I mean, I haven't had too many pumpkin beers, but the ones I've had have been really good, like Southern Tier Pumpkin, Midnight Sun's Treat, Weiderbach Imperial Pumpkin Ale. All those I really enjoy. This one, wow, you definitely smell pumpkin on this beer. This is not just spices. There's actual pumpkin on the nose. Then you do get the nutmeg, good amount of nutmeg below with the spices, a little bit of cinnamon. Wow, it smells very, very big, but then it has this, it has that sort of underlying kind of oak, tanny kind of component to it. But wow, great smelling beer. I'm looking forward to try this. I mean, it smells about as good as any pumpkin beer I've ever had. So let's give this a try. Cheers. Oh, that's really nice. Long finish to it. It's what I'd want in a pumpkin beer. It's got the sweetness in there. It has the spice notes. It has the actual, gourd flavor of the pumpkin in there. So they must put it in the mash because, yeah, it definitely has that sort of liquid pumpkin-y pie-y kind of thing going to it. Initial taste, alcohol is fairly well masked, but let me dig in a bit more. Yeah, you start to pick up some alcohol notes in the very back end, but it actually kind of helps clean away some of the sweetness up front. I mean, you're getting big caramel notes. There's some underlying toasty maltiness in there too. It has that pumpkin pie character in terms of the spices and the pumpkins blending together. There's a nice kind of creaminess to the beer as well. Really impressed with this one so far. Okay, the oak, let's pick that up next. See, the oak kind of comes in at the very back end. Add some subtle kind of vanilla notes and some of those kind of oak tanniny, woody character. It's not overly prominent, which is nice. It just works well with the other flavors. So yeah, big malts up front. Definitely has like a brown sugary note to it, caramel kind of, maybe not quite toffee, but brown sugar molasses sort of character to the malt base with some of that toasty breadiness. Spices are not too over prevalent, which sometimes I think the spices can just be overdone and it might cover up some of the other flavors in there. I like the blend of spice in this one. Okay, back with Uinta's Oak Jacked Imperial Pumpkin Ale here. Really, really enjoying this beer. It's a very big beer though, and it's 10%. I'm starting to really feel the alcohol. You don't taste it so much, but it's warmed up. It's has some sweetness to it, but it's not too cloying, so that's nice. But you do kind of start to get more of that brown sugar, kind of pumpkin. The spices tend to kind of fade out a little bit with it, but the pumpkin does come forward, which is nice. I wish the spices kind of stayed where they're at when it was cooler, when I was drinking earlier. My palate wasn't quite used to it, but still a really fantastic pumpkin beer, one of the best I've ever had. I'm going to give this thing an A. I think it's excellent. Recommended. This is not a cheap beer. It is oak barrel aged, you know, so that's going to add some cost to it, but I think this is about $15. I don't know how that compares to other places you might be able to get this, but I do recommend this as a special treat during the fall season. It's an excellent pumpkin beer. So it's going to wrap it up. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.